All right, here we go. Okay, that looks like something's happening here. Okay. If you guys are there, please say hi. Let's put chatting on, maybe not. Okay, so this is different from what it was before. Normally I can see when people pop on or when they have, like, when they're actually saying something, but unfortunately I don't see that. So if you're there, say something. Let me see if it pops on. I have this one with me today, so if I have to turn around and do mom things while I'm like giving her snacks and stuff, then that might happen. What we're going to do first is we're going to turn on our oven. Oh, hey, Carrie. Okay, I can see people on. Okay, I'm going to turn the oven on to 450 right now. Daniel has the kids and he is trying to take them on a bike ride, I think. So I'm hearing some miserable discontentment going on. So I don't know what's happening. That is not my problem right now. Okay, before we get started, I went ahead and cut up my chicken. Cut it in little cubes so it cooks evenly and quickly. It's about 2 cups worth, and I used chicken thighs. And then I went ahead and diced up a half of a medium onion, 2 carrots, and 2 stalks of celery. And I am going to go ahead and turn on I do have a cast iron skillet. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on to about medium heat. I've got it at like about a 7 if your dial goes by numbers. And what I will do first while people are just kind of hopping on is I am going to get the mixture, just the dry mixture, ready for my drop biscuits that I'm going to put on top just before I bake it in the oven. So if you're joining me right now, I've set my oven to 450, it's preheating, and I'm going to get together 2 cups of flour. Sorry, I'm doing this where you can't see, and then as soon as I've got this dry mixture put together, I can kind of hold my phone so you guys can see everything I'm doing. I really love like these things for like flour and sugar and stuff, but you can't actually stick the cup inside, so it's kind of annoying. So bear with me a second. All right, again, it's 2 cups of flour. And then it's going to be 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Okay, I've got my 2 cups of flour. Feel free to leave messages if you guys are here, if you want to say anything, if you want to say hi. Everyone is kind of starving to talk to people, so I would love to talk with you. All right, so I'm going with the 1 tablespoon of baking powder right now. I just want to get this ready and kind of put on the side so that when I'm ready to kind of mix it all up, it's done. It makes it much, much easier. All right, so I've got my tablespoon of baking powder. I need a tablespoon of white sugar, just regular table sugar. And I apologize for what might be screams going on. Daniel is trying to take Eden and Kana on a bike ride, which, you know, you think would be fun, but it seems like there are some screaming protests going on. All right, and then we've got a half a teaspoon of salt. Again, this is just the dry mixture that we are doing for our biscuits. And I'm just whisking that together so that's all evenly mixed and ready to go when we come back to it. Okay. Hi, baby. Here you go. And also, see Mara. You're gonna put, it says about 2 ounces of Parmesan cheese. Last time I didn't have any Parmesan cheese, so I just put about, I don't know, about half a cup of of shredded cheese in there. So basically it's whatever you have. But But since I have Parmesan cheese now, I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the dry mix, and I'm gonna whisk that up in there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the other view now since we're getting heated up here. Mara, hey baby. Okay. So this is what I've got. I've got my my skillet heating up. Anybody kind of tuning in now, I've preheated my oven to 450. I've got my skillet. Oh, I need to turn on a vent here. So it's starting to get hot. I'm gonna go ahead and reduce that heat to 4 now, because you can kind of see some steam coming off of there. I mixed up in our bowl 2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon baking powder, 1 tablespoon sugar, a half a teaspoon of salt, and about a half cup of Parmesan cheese. And we've got a whole stick of butter here, which we will melt later, and a cup of milk, and that's going to be our drop biscuit mixture. So now that our skillet is hot, before I go on, hey Carrie Ann, would you mind sharing this feed to my personal page if you can? I told some of my friends that I would share it. If you can't, I will try and figure that out later. It's not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and add about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of oil to our pan here because we're going to go ahead and start cooking. I have prepped already about 2 cups worth of diced chicken thighs. You can use whatever chicken. Again, if you're using cooked chicken that's kind of left over, that's fine. If you use canned chicken, that's also fine. You don't need to put already cooked chicken in the pan first. You'll just hold on to that, kind of put it all in at the same time with the veggies. So right now, let me get something here I need a bigger spoon. All my spoons. All right, I'm gonna put that chicken in here. We're just gonna kind of get it started, get it browned up. Now you'll notice that I am not gonna go ahead and season any of this right now because we are gonna add like a chicken powdered bouillon later, and that's already pretty salty. We don't need to make this too salty here. All right, so that is cooking. Turn the heat up a little bit more on that. All right, we basically just want to brown this. It is going to go in the oven a little bit later for 20 minutes. I diced up the chicken pretty small so it can cook quickly. You don't want to over dry it. Thanks, Carrie Ann. I appreciate that. I'll figure that out later. It's not a big deal. Okay. All right. Hold on. Hi, baby. Here, I've got to pick up a cup here. Here you go. Oh, and water's all over the floor. Mom life, right? All right. Also, when we're cooking our veggies, this is going to cook more too, so it's not that big of a deal here. All right, so come back to me for a minute while I give some more food to my child. Okay. Here you go. Take a strawberry. All right. Babe, there's no way you can take her. Okay. She's just getting really fussy. Okay. So we've got that cooking really well. Again, you're just kind of browning it. You're not having to cook it all the way because it'll go in the oven and cooking the veggies. We're going to go ahead and get those carrots, onions, and celery. Going to dump that all in our pan here. I'm going to start mixing that up. This is going to cook down quite a bit. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn my vent down a little bit so it's not so loud. And I'm going to turn my pan up a little bit now so we can really get this cooking. All right, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take my chicken powdered bouillon. If you have like a paste that you prefer, that's fine too. Go ahead and add it at this point. It's probably about a tablespoon because this is going to create our kind of gravy sauce in our pan later on. And it's going to season everything really, really well. Now, if you want to use like a chicken stock already prepared at a different, you can use that a little bit later on. I don't have stock just handy because I like to make it myself. Ever since I started like making a lot of this stuff from scratch, kind of like the boxed kind, doesn't taste as nice. All right, so I still want to turn my pan up a little bit more here. Get this really, you want to start cooking it to a point where it's getting opaque or soft essentially. And you do want to see like a little bit of kind of charring at the bottoms, because that flavor is going to come up once we kind of add the water in, and it's going to really flavor your sauce, your gravy sauce. Okay, I'm going to come over to my freezer because basically I use frozen vegetables too. I have some peas and corn right here that I'm going to use and add to my veggies while they're cooking. Watch out, Winston. I have my dog over here now just trying to get little tidbits of things. Okay, so I have my frozen peas. Gonna go ahead and pop some of those in there. It's about like 3/4 of a cup. I'll probably do the same amount with my corn. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna get that all mixed. So what have you all been doing during your quarantine time? We've been trying to spend a lot of time outside and getting some stuff done around the house, and we've been doing lots of walks and bike rides together. It's been really fun. Really kind of trying to make the most of it. My dishes. All right, so I'm just going to leave that alone for a little bit, let it kind of continue to cook. We're going to come back to this drop biscuit mixture here. Now you're going to need a spoon to kind of stir this up. You're going to need to make a well in the middle. If you weren't here at the beginning, we just put 2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt in this mixture, and kind of whisk it together. Now I made a well in here. We are going to go ahead and take our 1 stick of butter, so a 1/2 cup of butter, and we're going to melt it. Let's see, I'll put it on 30 seconds, see how it does. Oh yeah, you can see where it's starting to kind of stick to the bottom of the pan a little bit. And that's what you want. I think a lot of people get afraid when stuff starts sticking to the bottom. That's actually going to create more flavor for you when you go to make a sauce. It's going to pick up all those flavors. It's called deglazing, which essentially takes off all those little tidbits off of the bottom of the pan, so you don't lose any flavor. All right, let's look here. We still need a little more time. Oh, good, I spilled a little bit. Ha! A little more time on there. Okay, just let that sit again. Baby sweetness. All right, here we go. All right, so we've got our melted butter. I'm just gonna stick it right in that well that we created in here. Put that in the sink. And then we have our milk, which is a cup of milk. You're gonna stick it right in there with the butter so it kind of blends together. Oh, we also put about half a cup of Parmesan cheese in here as well. If you don't have Parmesan cheese, you can certainly use about a half a cup of shredded cheese of your choice. That's what I did last time and it turned out just fine. That's the main thing about cooking. Like, don't be afraid to kind of just try things, especially when it's not like baked goods. I feel like are a science. You kind of have to follow everything to the letter. But when you're cooking, you can kind of just do what you want. I mean, you know, within reason. Okay, so this is our drop biscuit mixture. You see it's a little thick. It's going to look a little chunky. That's fine. You don't need to mix it. Don't over mix it. Hey, Erica, how are you? Yes, I will definitely post the recipe in the comments later. Don't worry about that. I'm kind of trying to keep people up to date. If they kind of jump on a little bit later, let them know what we've been doing, but don't worry, I will post all of this in the comments. Again, we preheated our oven for 450 because this is going to go in the oven as soon as we're done for about 20 minutes. But as you can see, it's really not a lot of prep, and we're only using one pan. I am huge on that too because I hate doing dishes. If we could just keep it to one pan and one, you know, mixing bowl, I am fine with that. So, okay, we did pour a little bit of that chicken powder on here. So let's go ahead and we need about 1 to 2 tablespoons of flour. This is going to create a roux, which is basically a thickening agent to create your gravy. Okay, we do have some fat in there already. I used some oil. You can use butter to begin with. Okay, we're just going to coat everything and then we're going to mix it together. It's going to look a little strange, so bear with me. This is all part of the process. It's kind of coating everything. You're going to want to cook the flour a little bit before you add any kind of liquid, okay? If not, it's going to taste a little pasty, so just, you know, stir it in for a good minute. Kind of let it coat everything. It's picking up. Oh my gosh, that's disgusting. It's sticking to my pan. It's not. We're going to deglaze it. We talked about deglazing a little bit earlier, where you add your liquid and that steam and that heat is going to remove all those yummy bits off the bottom of the pan. It's going to make your gravy right in your pan, so you don't have to make a separate thing for it, okay? Look, I got you. Okay. Now, for this part, I did not suggest this before. Let me see where it is. Where's my stuff? But if you want a little bit more of like a creamy sauce instead of just a plain straight up gravy, you can add a little bit of heavy cream. I did not put that on your ingredients list earlier. Here, hold on a second. I'm going to put this down or up or whatever. All right, so I'm going to turn down my heat a little bit. I'm going to put in probably about a half a cup of heavy whipping cream. Okay. Honestly, I eyeball a lot of this stuff, so you are not going to make a mistake. Just trust yourself. Okay. So I put about half a cup of heavy whipping cream. I turned down my temperature on my skillet to about a 6, somewhere around medium. And then I am going to take about 2 more cups of water and add that to my pan. And I'll show you how it makes that gravy sauce right in the pan. All right. Let me switch you over here. All right, so we've got this on. I added some cold liquid, so it's going to start heating up and start taking off all those yummy bits off of the bottom. it basically, you're going to think like you're going to freak out because you're like, oh my gosh, I just made soup. No, since you added that flour, once that starts cooking and incorporating into the mixture here, it is going to thicken up and become a lovely, delicious gravy sauce. All right, I'm going to put my flour away. And while that's continuing to heat up here, and get thick, I am going to come back to my drop biscuit mixture. So I'm just going to allow that to like marinate for a minute. All right. Mara, you want to say hi? You want to see yourself? Hi. You just spilled your water all over the floor. Here we go. Let's pick up your water. Okay. Yeah, I've got a whole mess of water out here on my floor. All right, so it's starting to bubble a little bit. Let's go ahead and just stir it. It's starting to really get thick. Plus, Daniel kind of likes his with a lot of sauce here, or gravy. So he's starting to get thicker. It's noticeably thicker already. And this steam in the oven is going to help cook your biscuits. So you do want to, you do want it a little bit saucy. And I'm going to reduce this down just by, see, it's like boiling. I have it like put it back up to 7. I'm going to reduce this down so it becomes thicker and thicker as it goes. And I'm going to kind of just scrape off the stuff on the bottom so we're flavoring our sauce here. Okay. Now I'm actually going to take a spoon and I'm going to try this now because the last time I made this it was really salty because I continued to add salt. Oh, it's perfect now. Okay, it's perfect. So as you see, I did. Okay, Eden. Why are you eating gum? There's Eden, everybody.
What part of the ice cream?
It came in ice cream.
Oh, came in the ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the tree.
Okay. All right.
Let's go back to my pizza.
No, you can't mess it up, Erica. The thing is, if you guys are feeling a little like self-conscious, like, oh, I don't know if I could do this, just add little bits at a time. It's not a big deal. You really can't mess it up. If you add too much liquid, which again, make sure you measure, but if you add too much liquid, just add a little bit more flour. See, look how thick that's becoming now, okay? I am going to reduce the heat a little bit. I'm sorry, I am notorious, like, up, down when it comes to heat. I feel like it's so hard with, Okay, now you could add some thyme to this. If you want like an extra like added flavor, you could add thyme. I know a lot of people do. It does taste really good, but you don't have to. And if you're kind of like, I don't really like biscuits, I would rather have something else. Once this reduces to like that gravy that you really want, you could easily just cook rice and put it over rice. You could make those really yummy egg noodles and put it over noodles. You could add some Parmesan cheese to this, make it even thicker, have it almost like an Alfredo kind of sauce. There's lots that you could do with this recipe than just make it like chicken pot pie. But I really like it with the biscuits. So look, if you look here, you can see how that's dripping, and it's not super runny anymore. It's really a lot thicker. You're getting to that point where you want it. So you can kind of tell by the bubbles too. It's a lot thicker. Okay. We're going to just keep letting it do its thing. We've got our biscuits mixed up already. I'm actually going to get out some extra shredded cheese over here. I just went shopping the other day. And guys, it just makes me so depressed. I have a little bit of shredded cheese left, so I'm actually going to put that on the top once I put the biscuits on. Just because I wanna. Okay. All right, this is getting to where we want it. So I'm gonna turn off this heat. Again, from the beginning, we did set it to 450. I'm gonna turn off the heat on the skillet, kind of I'm gonna put my phone down so I can move my skillet. Just gonna move it to an eye on my stove that is not hot. Let me get my glove here. So that when we put our biscuits on, you know, we're staying safe, we're not hurting ourselves, okay? Please don't hurt yourself doing this. All right, now, I'm gonna take my spoon and I'm gonna lay the biscuits on top. So I'm gonna show you again what the mixture looks like. Okay, so this is what the mixture looks like. And you're gonna take about a spoonful at a time and drop it right onto the mixture, okay? I can probably try and do this with one hand like a couple of times just to show you. So you're just going to drop it right onto the mixture like that. You're not gonna touch it, okay? Take it, Mara, and drop it right onto the mixture. All right, and you're gonna do that all around to fill up the space. So, Mara. Oh, goodness. Mara, what do you, hey, look, who is that? Who is that baby? Who is that baby? Okay, you can wait a minute. All right, I'm putting this over here just so that I can finish these drop biscuits, and then I will show you what it looks like at the end. So it's basically like these rounded spoonfuls. I'm not measuring. I am just taking the big globs, which that's an appetizing word, right? Globs. I'm just taking them and I'm placing them around in my pan until all of my batter is used up. Okay, rinse off my finger here. All right, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so that is it, basically. I'm gonna go ahead and put my shredded cheese on top like I mentioned before. Just because I want to. And how else am I gonna use? Like a half a cup of shredded cheese. So I'm just gonna put that on top. The recipe that I had followed before said if you had parsley, you know, shredded or otherwise, you can, I mean shredded, shredded parsley, yeah, right. Chopped parsley, dried parsley, if you want to put it on top just because it looks nice, that's great too. I just don't have parsley. So that's it. Now I'm just going to stick it in the oven for 20 minutes. If it's not a little golden brown, you can leave it in for a little bit longer or turn your broil on for just a couple of minutes and it's going to nicely brown the top of that. And what I will do is I'll make sure that I post the recipe below and I will put a picture of the finished product and I'll like kind of plate it up and stuff so you guys can see it. But let's see. I was reading some of your things there. Yes, we could live in a commune, Sonia. I love that. Man, I miss all of you guys so much. I really hope you guys are doing well. I am praying for you guys. I know this time is really, really difficult on all of us, especially us with littles right now and stuck in the same space, not even able to give them up to grandparents or go to the YMCA or go to Chick-fil-A. And then our husbands are here with us too, which we're all finding the good times in all of that. But no, really, let's find the blessing in it because something like this doesn't happen every day, and thankfully. And, you know, the Lord means this for good for us. So I'm praying for you guys. If you have any questions, please let me know. Even some basic things, I'd love to kind of share more with you on cooking. But for now, happy eating, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.